October Red Boxing back with the lovely Natasha Jonas. Look at that beautiful smile. It's always a pleasure to see you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I feel good. Liverpool won last night. I feel good. I'm in a good place.
You know what? Forgive my ignorance. Somebody said it's a derby weekend. Talk to me about that because I've got no clue about football whatsoever.
So derby for us is Liverpool versus Everton. Two clubs from the same city. So obviously Everton's the blue side, Liverpool's the red side, and yeah, we've got a Premier League game for the first of our two Premier League games this weekend. So it's a good Scouse occasion. It's a big, massive time for Scouse sport this Saturday. So yeah, it's a big night.
So it's a good time to have the fight here, really, because I was going to say to you, I was expecting to see you on the card next week being the all-female thing. However, with the derby that's going on, yeah, I think this is ideal for you as well, to be honest.
Yeah, there was talk. I think if we wouldn't have made the Hannah Rankin fight, then I think it would have gone on that one. But to be fair, I championed to be on this one. I just think it makes sense for me. I get that that's a PR-wise, that's a huge card to be on, and for all them reasons, it was a brilliant card. But I can still be at that and commentate. So,
Win-win.
yeah, for me, it just means being in Liverpool that all your family and friends can come. And yeah, you're boxing for the first time as a champion in front of your home city, which was what I wanted to do.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, to be honest. So please forgive my ignorance on the football. It's not a sport that I follow. I'll probably get trolled in the comments, but whatever. But anyway, opponents. Obviously, you've got this Swedish lady that you're fighting now. Good numbers. I think you said 15 or 13-0. She's got a few knockouts. But what happened with the Hannah Rankin fight? How comes that fell through? Because I know that she's fighting Terry Harper now. So what happened with that?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. But I spoke to Ben on the Tuesday, and he said, like, he kind of explained what the deal was, and I said, like, he said, right, we're going to give them the deadline on Thursday, and I was happy that everything that he'd offered was a good, in my view, a good deal. Like, if she got a better deal, like, I understand why she took the better deal, but it was what it was. And on the Thursday, they didn't come back, and obviously they went and took the Harper fight. But I was satisfied that Ben did everything he could to get it. And then on the following Tuesday, he phoned me and said, what about Burghult? On the Monday, he phoned me and said, what about Burghult? So I was like, yeah. Tuesday, he was like, are you sure about Burghult? I was like, look, if you can get the Burghult fight, get it. On the Thursday, it was done. So I didn't have time there was only like 3 or 4 days of me sulking because I didn't have the Rankin fight. But then obviously I'd still got a unification fight, and it was with, like, on paper, a more technically dangerous opponent. So I was happy. I wasn't moping or sulking like I was over the weekend of the previous weekend. So I was happy. I still got a big fight. I didn't really want to drop back down and do like the mandatories. I do want to, like, keep it at world level and keep it at where it's competitive and where, there's a little bit of an ounce of danger, because I think them fights bring out the best in me.
It's a good point that you've made there, and it's an obvious thing that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes it doesn't go the way you want it, but something better could come from it. Like you said, you want an opponent where there's a little bit of an air of danger at it. You don't want something... I'm not disrespecting Hannah at all either, but as in regards to a step up, like you said, this lady's more better on paper.
Yeah, I mean, she's beat Hannah as well. Doesn't always mean anything, but yeah, it's stars make fights. But I do think, at amateur pedigree, a record suggests that she's a lot better. And just from what I see and what I remember, that I do believe she's more of a threat.
Like the short notice change of opponent then. Obviously, you were possibly preparing for Hannah. What happens then when you get like a change of opponent and you may have to like switch up your game a little bit? Talk to us a little bit about that, because it is kind of short notice.
Yeah, I had 10 days for Namas, so it's a lot of notice for that. when you compare it to that, it's a lot of notice. I think we both had 4 or 5 weeks, and I already had in my head either the 3rd or the 10th, so I was training for the date. I just didn't know who the opponent was. It wasn't confirmed who the opponent was, so I always knew I was going to box. And stature-wise, she's not that much different to Hannah. She's quite tall, got long levers. Physically, probably not. Skill-wise, probably not. So you just then, for the first couple of weeks of camp anyway, you're just getting yourself fit. And then after that, then you start to tailor it to who your opponent was. So it just worked out just about right to be able to, you know, tone down on who we was actually going to box. So it probably worked out about right.
You know, we talk about the styles and the attributes then. How would you say your style or your attributes will nullify hers, which will obviously secure you the win, because that's what we're hoping for?
Yeah, I just think, you know, she's got good footwork. She's got, you know, a good lead hand, and she's got, she's nice, neat and tidy, and she's smart. So I just, all them things that she's got, I just think I'm better. And obviously I don't want to give away the game plan, but we've been working on things to combat that, and also working on my strengths and what I'm good at. So yeah, so we've been pushing as that as well.
I'm going to have to cut this because, as per usual, every time I start something, it gets cut short. Are you all right to jump back on afterwards? Because I know you've got to take your seat and stuff for that now, for the main presser. But hopefully I'll see you in a sec. Sorry. Your commentary is brilliant as well, you know. I love you on commentary as well. You're set for life, you are. After, like, you know, when you retire, you're set for life. Not all boxers can talk on camera. Do you know what I mean? So that's a gift as well. Oh, yeah. And because yours, like, you take care of yourself, and
you have to learn to do.
Yeah.
When I remember the first time Sky went, Tasha, how do you feel? I was like, I just splurted out like a million words in like 3 seconds. And some fella was like, yeah, you need to slow that down. So it is a skill. And then I find the commentary, when you're standing with Anna and you're giving like a reaction thing, that's quite like I don't want to say easy, but it's easier to do. But when you're sitting there and the commentary, you've got to be respectful. Plus say what you see. Plus be honest. Plus, and it's just so hard to do all them things, and like, yeah, so it's tougher than it looks for that reason.
Now, I can believe that, and the thing is, the reason why I respect it so much, because obviously I'm from Birmingham, so I'm a Brummie, Liverpool, Scouser. We always get the shit ripped out of us for our accents. Oh, I hate your accents. So fair play to you. Like I said, I think it suits you anyway.
Yeah, nice one. But yeah, that as well. So like, I have to like concentrate on slowing myself down and pronouncing all my words. And there was a time, I think, on the Bournemouth show, I was trying to say overhand, backhand, and I just couldn't get it out. And I was looking at it, reading at it, and I was going overhand, back, overhead. And in the end, Adam was just like, yeah, we know what you mean. I just couldn't get it out. And like, you got, yeah, but it's like anything else, you get better with experience. And I do enjoy it, yeah. which I do want to improve, and yeah, I do want to take it there, and I hope that is something I can look forward to.
Yeah, it's something nice to see that the women doing as well, because fair enough, you're a boxer, but I've done a little bit of commentary myself because I understand it. I'm not a boxer, but I understand the sport, and it's nice to actually have like the female voices in the background talking about it. Ebony Bridges does a really good job as well when she does it, so it's just nice to listen to. But your opponent then, I've just seen her on stage. We just had the press conference. What vibe did you get from her up there?
I just, you know, she's confident, which she probably has to be. You know, I think as well, we remember each other from the amateurs. I think, you know, she respects what I bring, and I respect what she brings, and, you know, the best woman's going to win. That's it.
Obviously, she's unbeaten as well. I didn't realise, you know, the unblemished record. When you're going into a fight and you're seeing that somebody's obviously got that unblemished record, she's got a belt, like you said, the green and gold's what you want. You've got your belt as well. Does that make it more like intense than any other fight? Because it's like, okay, she's got a strap and I want that.
Yeah, I think more than the zero is the fact that I want what she's got. I think that's the important part, and I'm looking at her, like, when we've gone down and doing the media stuff, I'm looking at the belt, I think green and gold is so my colour. That's what I was thinking, oh, that look nice on me on Saturday night, you know, I put a little outfit together that I'll wear with. So yeah, I was thinking more than anything, like, it's the strap that's important, and not, it's only a bit of tokenism, but like, it's that's the one I want. It's prestigious, and it's another tick off the list, and you know, the list is getting smaller, and that's the way we needed it.
You know, like leading up to fight night, because it's almost upon us now, and it gets to the point where you're going to get that belt. It's going to bring more eyes on you, because there's going to be another fighter that's going to be out there saying, green and gold, I want it. How's that make you feel, that looking forward into future fights? Because you want to stay active. You've always said that. This is why you're here. This is why you're with Sky Sports Boxing, because they're continuously getting you out there as much as they can. And it seems if Ben's got a little soft spot for you as well.
Yeah, I mean,
in a professional way.
Yeah, yeah.
Not the rumours.
No. I think, you know, I always said that I want to be supported. I want to feel like the A side. I want to be, and I feel like that. And you know, me and Ben talk all the time,
Okay.
and I don't think I've quite had that relationship for whatever reason before. So I'm just happy. I'm happy, and I think you can see that in me boxing. You can see that, you know, when I'm doing other things, that like I'm finally where I need to be, where I want to be, and yeah, it's just a nice position to be in. I think for a long time the opportunities were so little and vast, because I was a lot of risk for no reward. When you perform well, like against Terry Harper and against Katie Taylor, but you didn't get the straps, then people are like, well, actually, she's better than we actually thought she was. She, you know, after the open off, everyone's like, she's got a few chinks in her armour, so we can exploit that. But then you go and box Terry, and I believe I won, and then you go and box Katie and lose by a round. So people are like, actually, she's actually that level, and she gets better when the pressure's on and stuff. So when you get them belts and stuff, I just think it brings something to the table, and people, like you say, I'll think, well, now she's got what I want, so I'll take that risk because she's got a reward. Whereas before, I didn't have anything, and it was just all risk.
That is quite sad to listen to that, because you have to have that belief in yourself that you have to carry on. Because you could have said, you know what, forget this, I'll do a 9 to 5 or whatever, but you didn't. You still pursued it, and now you've ended up in the position that you are. How important is it to just never give up on your dreams, never doubt yourself, and say, you know what, all right then, risk versus rewards. They don't see me as anything, but I'm going to prove everyone wrong. How do you have that mindset to still do that? Like, one for a better word, you're sort of like back shelved. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's tough, and I don't know what keeps that thing. I think it's the vision that you have for yourself, and the belief that you have in yourself, and trying to. I give up a long time ago trying to get people to believe in me and believe in what I see. As long as I can see it, that's enough for me. The sacrifices I make with me little girl, enough that it's worth it for when I have them moments. So as long as I can see it, I'm sick of trying to get everyone on board. If you believe in it, great. If you don't, you'll watch and witness it. So it's it's just me being able to see it and able to believe it that I need anymore. Whereas sometimes I was looking for that kind of like acceptance, exactly, reassurance from everybody else that I'm world level, and I'm world level ready, and everyone was like, well, no, we're not quite, and I was like, not used to hear, but now I'm just like, I don't care what you think, like if you don't believe it, doesn't matter to me, and like as long as I believe it, it doesn't matter.
I love that, and self-belief is so important. But finally, I just want to touch on, obviously, there was a terrible, the shooting that happened up here. Absolutely devastating story. You're sort of like a face of your city. You know, there's people that get behind you. I know that this city is passionate about football and about boxing. A message for the young ones out there, the young ones that might be a bit, I don't know, confused in what they're doing, running up and down, getting into beef, you know, gang banging, whatever it is, fighting amongst each other for whatever reason. What is your message for the younger members of the community, and what can they do? What can the boxing community do to help those, you know, those kids that don't necessarily know what they want to do? They've lost a bit of guidance in their life. And I'm saying this because I'm a mum, I've got kids, I get it.
I think boxing's one of them sports that kind of reaches that target area, and not everybody does want to go in. And if you've got a bit of, you know, an aura around you, you don't want to go in and get punched by an absolute nobody that nobody knows, and everyone's like, you're not that guy we thought you were. So, but you know, take that step, because it can lead to so many. I never wanted to. I didn't think when I was 21 going into the Rotunda that I was ever going to be a world champion, go to the Olympics or do anything else. I just wanted saw an opportunity and I took it. You have to take your opportunities in life, and there's so many things that you can be. Don't let anybody else put, like I was saying before, put barriers up to who you can be just because of where you're from or what you've done or what you've been through. You can do anything you want to do. You've got to see it, you've got to believe it, and you've got to work hard to get it, because it's not going to be easy. No one's going to come to you and say, here's the perfect life. You've got to go out and find that for you, and it's tough. But for the young people, there is another way. Always believe that there is another way and there's a better way. And for the adults, somewhere down the line we are failing. We as adults are failing these kids. So we need to look at ourselves and what we're doing and how we can approach it different, and what we can do collectively together as one, as a city, as a nation, as whoever, and get it done, because we are failing these kids. If they're thinking that that's the only way or that's the best option, it's us that's failing them. We're making all the decisions, we're putting everything in place, and they're being failed, not the other way around.
That is a perfect message, and I think sometimes we do need to hear it. We do need everyone to come together and just stop this. I get it, people don't get on with people, I understand that. But the consequences of people dying out there on the streets is what they're leaving behind. It's the grieving parents, the anger. Then it leads to possible retributions. When does it stop?
It doesn't, and that's the long, hard road of it. Is it once that cycle starts like that, it can be continuous. Being on both sides of things that have happened in this city, and it's like you say, it feels like there's no value no value for life. And life's the most precious thing. Life and time is the most precious thing we've got on this planet. So let's value it. Let's try and make it as positive and as good, and leave your mark for all the right reasons.
All the more reasons to try and get some of our kids into local boxing gyms. Would you be able to shout out any gyms that are local to you that people could possibly walk into Sunday morning, Monday morning, after the watch you get your win and secure that green and gold on Saturday night?
Yeah. Sunday. No, as you said, Liverpool's a hotbed for football and boxing. So there's, obviously I'll always say the Rotunda first. That's my gym. Yep. There's, God, now you put me on the spot. Old Swan, Gemini. There's Everton Red. There's Anfield Boxing. I'm trying to think of Alan Lynch's one, and it's not coming to me. Which is only Kirkdale. There's Kirby. There's Golden Gloves. There's millions, and they're all within maybe a 4 or 5, except for Kirby, a 4 or 5 mile radius of each other. So there's lots of opportunities. Get yourself in. Like I said, you may not go with the intentions of ever wanting to box, but the gym for me is another family. You go there, you're all training, you're all sweating, you feel like you're part of something, you're social, even though boxing's quite a lonely sport at times. You go in there, it's opened so many doors for me, and like I say, I'm only a little snotty-nosed kid from Toxteth, I've managed to live a good life. That's not going to be the life for everyone, but I've led a good life, and it's all through just walking through that door and making that step, which is the hardest step to take sometimes. And having a dream that only I could see and believe, but it's worked out for me.
And that's what we needed to hear. Natasha, you are an inspiration to many. Many a young girl will be sitting down listening to this, in the inner city areas. I came from one myself, so I get it. Just keep on inspiring and get that win on Saturday night.
Nice one, thank you.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.